Hey everyone, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me for Project Life. This is week 44, so stick around. Hey friends, it's Jen with ChappyPlans. Thanks for joining me today. This is Project Life, week 44, and I am documenting basically Halloween week, if you will. It was kind of unexpected because I ended up getting sick during the week, and this was right before we left for Disney, so I was trying my best to get better as quick as I could. So, quickly just showing you a bunch of the stash items I'm using, and I've already put together my kind of grid here, and I'm going to speed up the camera and continue the voiceover and narrate what I'm doing. All right, so I am using as many of the leftover elements from the October Stories by the Month kit, and there was this purple and orange floral patterned card, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? Because it's so loud and busy in a great way. I just wasn't sure how I was going to be able to make the week number stand out as the title portion of this card. So I ended up pulling out my grabby paint pens, which I've been using pretty much every week to document, and I did it again. And I decided to use the dark purple color to spell out week and then write the number in there, 44. Don't mind the plastic chewing in the background. That's just my anxious cat chewing on plastic, which please tell me I'm not the only one. I even purchased him some new like sticks that are supposed to be helping with that, but he doesn't seem to really be into those just yet. Anywho, I am using these leftover label stickers from Everyday Explorers that are perfect for this month, and the colors are couldn't match any better than they do. So I've got Finally Fall, Memories, and then some puffy stickers left over. I've got my label sticker I'm going to put on the top to stamp the date. So this is going to be week 44, October 27th through November 2nd. So Monday was my birthday, the 27th, and it really was just a regular day. I went to work and I worked out, and the special part of it, I suppose, would be the flowers that my husband and Nora got for me, and he made me my dinner request, which was grilled salmon with Brussels sprouts and rice. And then for dessert, he made me some lemon bars, which is one of my favorites. So that was special, and I journal about that in the next bit here. But next to the title card, I'm going to put this photo of Nora and her friend at school during library that my coworker sent me. They were just working on some things there, and so I put that photo in, and I just can't believe how well the purple and orange worked out. I never would have thought that would be my color scheme for a spread, but here we go. It's a purple rug. Nora and her friend both have purple on. It worked out really well. And then also that same day was morning program and Spirit Week, and we were encouraged to wear our school colors, which are purple and gold or purple and yellow. And so the picture of Nora down there speaking into the microphone is perfect because everyone's wearing purple. So I was like, oh, this is actually, I'm going to be able to use these elements from the Stories by the Month kit. And so I just journaled that she got to present at morning program, and I was really proud of her. Pardon my head in the way. And then on the card with the oval space that says remember this, I used the paint pens to write out my birthday and wrote really felt loved, salmon plus family plus homemade lemon bars. I had a quiet birthday and it was lovely. And I also wrote general ed ? Because I worked a couple of days that week in general education, which was my first time that year, or this year I should say, which is always different because normally I'm in the self-contained classroom with kids who have different disabilities like autism. And then on the bottom, I just wrote Disney Fits because I was working on packing and putting those all together. And then the last photo is just my gorgeous floral arrangement that Matt and Nora chose for me, and I just embellished that with a chipboard piece that said falling leaves. This video is very quick because it needed to be. I have a lot I need to get done and not enough time. So apologies if this goes faster than you would like. And then the bottom row is, I use these short story cards, so I size the photos to fit in the white space on those 3x4 cards, and it's a picture of one of my students with his stuffed animal, just so adorable, and so I had to include that picture. And I just embellished it really simply with a chipboard that said real life and then a puffy pumpkin sticker. And then the larger photo is Nora actually laying on top of me, but I'm not in the picture because you can just see my arm and then her face and the two kitties, which were both snuggling us, which was super cute. And so I put a chipboard that said, "This is what I want to remember." Perfect phrase there for that memory. And then just added a couple other stickers, and that wraps up the left side. So here's a closer look at everything I just did. And then moving on to the right, I had this, I wasn't sure how I was going to use this, and I ended up finding a bunch of photos. Ended up being perfect because there were so many little pictures throughout the day on Halloween. So I printed out a bunch of little tiny ones to put on top of each of the vellum squares there from the day. And I was actually sick at this point, but I still rallied it because it was Nora's last Halloween parade ever as a fifth grader. So of course, I had to go. I looked a mess, but it was fine. So I had to help her get into her costume anyway. She was Zoe from K-pop Demon Hunters. So there's a couple pictures of their classroom party and then the parade, and then Nora with all of her candy at the end of the day. And then I embellished it with just a few little pieces here and there. And then the picture on the right is me at urgent care, just making sure I don't have anything too bad before we left for Disney. And the doctor was nice and called me in some antibiotics just in case I needed them and things got worse. Fortunately, I've started to feel much, much better by, I think it was like Saturday night, because I did this thing called the Navage, which is like an automated battery operated neti pot, and it's disgusting, but it works. And I did that a bunch of times. I did some steam treatment, tons of liquids, hot tea, all that good stuff. So fortunately, I was feeling a lot better by the time we had to leave for Disney, and got better while I was there. And so I just talked a little bit about that, and then I didn't do anything except add this faux dashed border with my paint pen to this quote sticker, or quote card rather. And then the middle picture is Nora and one of the other fifth grade teachers after the parade. So I used Costume Fun as the chipboard piece there, and then a couple of stickers. And then again on that oval die cut that says, "Remember this," I'm going to go back to my paint pens, and I wrote, "Sign is cold. I got to kick this thing before we go. Navage, emergency, tea and steam." So much content to film, a different Halloween because, I was sick. And so Matt actually took Nora trick-or-treating and I stayed home. And then I went back and I put the Just Wide chipboard piece on the picture of me giving the thumbs down in the urgent care waiting room. And then the very bottom row, Sunday was crazy, the second. We had Nora's football team that she cheers for, the seniors, Super Bowl, which was the first time they'd made it in 17 years. And we had an undefeated season, but we knew we were playing another team from the other division who was also undefeated. So we weren't sure what was going to happen, but we did win. And it was amazing. So the picture is Nora decorating Matt's car. So we all met at the field in the morning before the game and decorated our cars. And the energy was just amazing. We had a New York State trooper, firefighter, local sheriff escort, and we drove caravan style to Vermont, which is where the Super Bowl was. And so winning was just like the icing on the cake. It was amazing. Completely undefeated season. Absolutely amazing. And then that night I just spent the rest of it packing. Oh, and we did vote. We early voted as well. I just didn't include that in this particular project, but I did journal about it in my Hobonichi cousin. And yeah, that's it, friends. It was really crazy. And then it was off to Disney. So I know this video was really fast. Again, had to get these things done. I have a lot I have to film and get out to everybody. That's what happens when you're away for 10 days. So let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell. And I will see you back here for the next one. Take care, friends. And remember that you are enough. Bye.